And so let me introduce Grandfather. He is a Lakota elder. He turned 78 on Saturday, and he's been in Aspen many times for his birthday. He's been coming here since 1990, and we've done marches in honor of Martin Luther King. We've done talking circles. Many years we've done talking circles and marches in honor of true, profound freedom that was, in fact, the vision of Martin Luther King. And I've taken that as an opportunity to bring forth these concepts of that will ultimately set us free once we come to understand them. So Wallace has been coming here for a long time, and he was raised on the Pine Ridge Reservation, and he was identified as a visionary at the age of 5. And his grandparents, when the government went through the Indian reservations and took the children out of their homes and put them in boarding schools to assimilate them into the culture and to prevent them from ever speaking their language and ever performing their ceremonies and living their ways, he was hidden by his grandparents. And they ultimately went to jail for it, I believe. But he was hidden away and stayed on the reservation. And he speaks of playing out in the grasses with bones, and little Indian kids played with bones. They didn't have dolls and stuff. They played with bones and rocks and stuff. And he says he was out in the grasses playing, and all of a sudden he heard the grasses start to talk. And since then, those elements have been his teachers. And this man is a walking phenomenon from our perspective, because the reality that he knows is something we call impossible. And so there'll come a day when it's not a phenomenon, what these people know, and what we all know, and what we all are moving into as we move into our true potential as human beings. Dr. Dolittle talks about it. I don't know if any of you have seen Dr. Dolittle, but Dr. Dolittle is a serious, profound movie about our abilities to communicate with the rest of creation. And so it's in our face, and all we have to do is remember how to do it. But meanwhile, so Grandfather has been a student of his grandfathers, his human grandfathers. He is a legend, a living legend, and a treasure of America and the world. He travels throughout the world, sharing the Lakota ways and performing sweat lodge ceremonies and lecturing and sharing everything he knows. He just sits and talks and talks and talks like it's just, I've got to let you guys know about this, and the more I say it, maybe you'll get it one of these days. So he'll be doing a sweat lodge Saturday night, and anyone's welcome to come to that, and he will be, I'm sure he'll be sitting and talking, and so you're welcome to come up and be a part of the sweat lodge. And if you want more information on that, you can ask me, I guess. It's up at Star Mesa, up off of McLean Flats.
What time?
6 o'clock. But I'd appreciate it if you'd give me a call at 927-3652 and let me know if you're thinking of coming. There are certain parameters that you need to adhere to, so it would be good not to just show up. Anyway, Grandfather, let's see, where was I? You see, when I first met him in 1990, I got the hit that this man is everything we've been everything we are and everything we will be. Because he has memories of the time when all aspects of creation were one, who spoke the same language. And he speaks now of us speaking the same mind. We may speak different languages, but we can ultimately communicate with all aspects of creation and each other through basically telepathic communication, which doesn't use languages. It uses symbols or pictures or whatever, however anybody gets it. But so he has memories of those times, and he also, so he's everything we were. He remembers who we were, and he carries that in his being. And he's everything we are now. He's lived 78 years of very troubled times for the Native American, and he has been in on the ground floor of that and watched his people suffer through alcoholism and violence and betrayal by the people who made treaties with them, and all manner of other trials and tribulations and great pain in his family life, in his friends' life. It's not, being a Native American is not an easy row to hoe in this time, as you're all aware. Even as an elder, a privileged, he's a privileged elder, an honored elder. Grandfather's by no means a wealthy man. He travels the world and lives on donations and on the abundance of the universe. And so that way he's everything we are. And he's very sophisticated in his knowledge of the white ways and his knowledge of the English language. He's never been to school, and he will run circles around any of us with the English language, the grammar and the punctuation and concepts, any other thing, and that we might want to challenge him on. I suggest before you challenge him on just about anything, you think twice, because he gets his information right across his forehead on a TV screen. He's hooked up to the unified field and gets any information he needs. Like I said, he's a walking phenomenon. But he, as a representative of us today, he's a modern American person who watches TV and likes wrestling and and smokes. And my son said, "You mean Grandfather watches TV?" Yeah, Grandfather watches TV. He likes wrestling, So he's human. And then to say that he's everything we will be, he has vision of the future. He knows what the future is going to look like, and he will be sharing that with you here and there. But the end of the world as we know it is in process of occurring, and it's really good news, guys, because it's just the end of the yucky stuff we've been doing to each other. So it has to do with the coming of heaven on earth, and just kind of graduating from this phase of the human evolutionary process. And he is very cognizant of all aspects of this. And if you listen closely, you'll hear him describe aspects of it.